Lucky on BBC Radio 1.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Well, I'm packing up my game and I'ma head out west, where real women come equipped with scripts and fake breasts. Find a nest in the hills, chill like Flint. Buy an old drop top, find a spot to pimp. Then I'm a kid, rock it up and down your block, go with a bottle of scotch and watch lots of crotch. Buy a yacht with a flag saying chillin' the most, then rock that bitch up and down the coast. Give a toast to the sun, drink with the stars, get thrown in the mix and tossed out of bars. Zip to Tijuana, I wanna roam, find Motown, telling fools to come back home. Start an escort service for all the right reasons, and set up shop at the top of Four Seasons. Kid rockin', I'm the real McCoy, and I'm headed out west, sucker, because I wanna be a cowboy, baby,
with a top left back and the sunshine shining.
Cowboy, baby,
West Coast chillin' with the booze
I wanna be a cowboy, baby,
riding at night 'cause I sleep all day.
cowboy, baby.
I can smell a pig from a mile away.
I bet you'll hear my whistle blowing when my train rolls in. It goes like dust in the wind. I once was lost,
But now I'm just blind.
palm trees and weed, scab knees and rice. Get a map to the stars, find Heidi flights. And if the price is right, then I'm gonna make my bid, boy, and let California hate. No, why they call me cowboy, baby,
With a top left back and the sunshine shining.
cowboy, baby.
West Coast chillin' with the booze
I wanna be a cowboy, baby,
riding at night 'cause I sleep all day.
cowboy, baby.
I can smell a pig from a mile away.
Kid Rock, you can call me Tex. Rolling sunset woman with a bottle of Bex. Seen her slimmy in a vet, rolled down my glass and said, yeah, this right, no cowboy. Hollywood and running.
And now, my friends, you've asked me what makes me sad still, and why my brow is darkened like the clouds upon the hill. Run in your ponies closer, and I'll tell to you my tale of Utah Care, my partner, in his last ride on the trail. We rode the range together, had rode it side by side. I loved him like a brother, and I wept when Utah died. We were rounding up one morning when work was almost done, when on his side the cattle started on a frightened run. Underneath the saddle that the boss's daughter rode, Utah that very morning had placed a bright red robe, so the saddle might ride easy for Lenore, his little friend. And it was this red blanket that brought him to his end. The blanket was now dragging behind her on the ground. The frightened cattle saw it and charged it with a bound. Lenore then saw her danger and turned her pony's face, and leaning in the saddle, tied the blanket to its place. But in leaning lost her balance, fell in front of that wild tide. Lay still, Lenore, I'm coming, were the words that Utah cried. His faithful pony saw her and reached her with a bound. I thought he'd been successful and raised her from the ground, but the weight upon the saddle had not been felt before. His back cinch snapped like thunder, and he fell by Lenore. Picking up the blanket, he swung it o'er his head and started across the prairie. Lay still, Lenore, he said. When he got the stampede turned and saved Lenore, his friend, then turned to face the cattle and meet his fatal end. Then they wrapped him in a blanket that saved his little friend, and it was this red blanket that brought him to his